Can you
And
be specific? What s- kiosks is it? Essentially, one of the big things I know.
self-order kiosks is one of the big things. So reimagining restaurants around, the customer experience,
Yeah,
and really a customer experience where, you didn't have to wait in a line. When I got to McDonald's, basically three ways to use McDonald's. You stand in a line, get a train, sit down, get a bag and leave, or you go through the drive-through. That's it. That's
yeah,
McDonald's 100 billion in system sales.
yeah.
So I thought to myself, if we can invent two or three new ways to use McDonald's, hey, that might be a few billions for us. So let's try that. So one of the key experiences is you walk in and it's a relaxed experience. You have a self-order kiosk. You take your time. There's no line. You tap in your table number and the food is brought to you to your table. So all of a sudden, it's a very different in-restaurant experience. Mm. Launching a mobile app experience, which is a whole story in and of itself. When I arrived there in the United States, when I looked in the U.S. App Store, I couldn't find the U.S. McDonald's app. I found the McDonald's app for Poland and Brazil, but not the United
Right,
States.
right.
So I knew we were in bad shape, and I said, "How many emails do we have? Like, how many customer profiles do we have?" And it took them a couple of weeks, and they said, globally, we think we have 1 million or something like that. And I was like,
Right.
that's kind of a joke for McDonald's,
Yeah.
uh, serving 30 million customers a day. I mean, by the time we were done, they had over 100 million customer
Right.
profiles that they could do business with directly. But for example, launching the mobile app where you could do everything from, curbside pickup, order ahead, favorites, family orders, obviously promotions, those things, very powerful. And then delivery, getting them into the delivery business, or the early days of that. Um, these are just new ways for the customers to use McDonald's. It grew sales, but more importantly, transform McDonald's from a consumer brand into a direct to consumer company. And those are two different things.
Yeah.
It can be a well-known brand, but if you treat your customers as anonymous versus
Hmm.
building profiles and personalizing experience, those are two different things and it required a big transformation.
And transformations are hard, of course, but the was it all quite an easy sell, if you like, because you've come up with these new innovative ways that you know the customers are going to love because it improves their experience. You're confident that the board are going to love because it's going to take you from being a decline into an incline. Was it all quite an easy, jolly sell?
I mean, the vision took about 45 days to conceive, and then it took years and quarters and many,
Right.
many hard months in the trenches to actualize it through people and through the organization. So that was absolutely a slog. And it always is. Change is
Yeah.
very difficult in a company that's up and running and been around for several decades. So to take you through it, like chapter one would be formulate the vision for yourself so you can have conviction.
Yeah.
You need to have conviction because, especially in a large organization that's been around for a while, conviction is rare. People see it as an outlier and they gravitate toward it because it is so rare. And if you have conviction around, well, like I just said, hey, I have a vision. My vision is McDonald's has always been about three things: taste, value, and convenience. I can't help you with the first two, but I can help you reinvent convenience.
Right.
Here's how. Here's how. There's two or three ways to use McDonald's now. What if we invent two or three more? Now you've got people's ear. The ear is open. The door is open. Now you can step them through the ideas and what it takes to build and the capabilities to make that happen. That part is, comes a bit naturally to me, but it doesn't take that long to get other people on board. So
Right.
CEO, peers, and board, 45 days. I think we had the blessing for, a multi-billion dollar check over several years, of course. We had the board support for that, so that was great. The rest is extremely difficult change management inside
Yeah.
the organization, because obviously now you need to get into the details of things, and people look at the unknown through a different lens. Some people, are comfortable with the unknown. Other people are much less comfortable, and then so it becomes a psychological behavioral science kind of process to kind of step people through change and land it. And we can get into some of that, but eventually, what I think you have to realize as a change agent is that one person cannot affect the change. You need to get
Mm-mm.
it into the bloodstream. If you get 10-20% of people kind of seeing and believing, then it can really spread. But you got to go from that
Yeah.
one person to hundreds of people.